You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's The Walking Dead After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The Walking Dead After Show.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining us. As they say, Bing is for doing, and what we're doing is another AfterBuzz podcast. Boy, I screwed it up already. It's a Walking Dead podcast. Thank you very much. I'm your host, John Comerford. I'm joined in the studio by Kevin Undergaro.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you. And Phil Zvitek, as usual, is with us.
Hello.
And a very special guest host here. He is the co-host of CarCast with Adam Conrola.
Yeah.
This is Matt D'Andrea. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. This is fun. Oh, that episode was great. I
It
can't
was
wait. Let's get
fabulous.
into this shit.
That's
I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
this is a good,
I wanted to
this is a
start
good
right
episode.
off with the Dale thing, because last week we saw Dale meet his maker.
I'm here too.
And,
by the way.
Oh, I beg your
Oh,
pardon.
well,
In the studio is
hi.
Big Ben.
Hi everyone.
Okay, so
Ben's always so quiet that we.
Yeah, we usually forget him anyway, so I'm sure. Thanks for. That's the first words we've actually heard out of him in the first 10 minutes.
our
of the podcast.
Imagineer.
Yeah, our man.
Nice.
All right, so we were talking about Dale, because last week we saw him, he met his end in a very wonderfully gruesome way. So, and now we get to see him eulogized by the whole cast. So what was your thoughts on the eulogy and how they decided to honor Dale?
Somebody start.
The actual
Come on.
eulogy itself was great.
It wasn't interesting?
And then the intercutting as a tease, I just knew we were headed for trouble.
Well, the way they all killed the zombies in such a violent and emotional way, you knew it was
Right.
it was
Yeah.
a contradiction. It was going to be a contradiction.
Yeah,
It was-
because clearly that's not
No.
because Rick was talking about doing it Dale's way, and this was so not Dale's way, and they were just going crazy animalistic
Yeah.
on people.
Yeah.
But it was
on
a great. It was a
zombies.
great line in the beginning. It's like, now
Absolutely.
we're going to do it Dale's way, and then
Yeah.
it just didn't happen.
And
Well,
Rick
for
talking
me,
about how
Well, for me,
no.
you guys are pointing to that as the central part of it. For me, it was we're going to prove Dale wrong.
Yeah,
And no one proved Dale.
yeah, because we're not a broken
Yeah.
group,
Yeah,
and they couldn't be more broken.
that's right.
I just thought that was great, and and T-Dog actually had a good episode today.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're-
You mean he was in it?
yeah, he was
exactly. He was
yeah.
actually present,
No,
and he
he
actually
was
had a
in it,
line
yeah.
or two, and
Yeah.
had some.
And he almost got the couch. by the way.
he
He almost got
got
the
the
couch.
couch. He was
Now,
this close.
okay, now is that because he's black?
Why they're not giving him a lot to do?
Yeah, is that why?
No,
I
don't know.
Just kidding.
No, I mean, well,
That's terrible.
I mean, in terms of it, on a serious note, I mean, what would you describe T-Bone's
T-Dog.
T-Dog's
T-Dog.
role?
T-Bone's, yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone has that role of
Right.
like
Yeah.
Rick's the sheriff and Shane's the bad guy.
Well,
and
that's
et cetera.
the point. Is
You
they
need a-
haven't given him a
Yeah,
You,
role.
no,
need, a, you need a neutral enforcer, and that's kind
Yeah.
of what he is. Like he is the go-to guy.
Do you think
for
he
kind
is
of
that,
every-
or do you think
he's-
it's been lazy writing where they
Yeah,
really haven't
I think it's
developed?
been lazy.
It
Right.
could be, but
They haven't fleshed out his
wanna-
character.
I want to think that he's more of the sort of the neutral go-to guy because he was injured in the first so many episodes. He had that big cut in his arm, so
Yeah.
he's kind of limited what he can do, and he helped out Dale, I guess, working on the truck and doing watch, and now
Yeah, but
he's going to take a
even
more
with
active
Daryl,
role.
Daryl got shot, and they had him doing
Yeah.
stuff all the time.
Yeah. Oh no, but I must say, but the kid when later in the episode, after what they did to his knee, how he was walking through
I know
the woods,
exactly.
I have
exactly.
no idea.
We
It's just
talked
like,
about that
come
last
on.
week as well.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, come on, somebody track
And
what's
by the
going
way,
on
like
here.
these, I'm a huge fan. I love this show. That's why I'm so excited to be able to sit in on this. I know Matt, you feel the same way. These are like easy fixes
Yeah,
as a
I
writer.
know,
This
and
is
it drives-
not.
yeah.
This isn't. So it's.
I mean, it's
that-
still
that's all-
entertainment, right? It's still a
it's
show, so it's gotta be
amazing.
Sure,
fun.
it's
Like,
absolutely it's entertaining.
But you could have him limp. You could
Yeah.
the stuff
Yeah.
you're talking about. You could develop. These other minor characters. Just
Yeah.
in a very subtle way.
It's one of those things where, and not to change it too much, but like I watch 24 as well.
Sure.
And people would ask him all the time, is like, how can you do 24, and like the guy never goes to the bathroom. He's like, because nobody wants to watch me go take a leak.
No.
You know? That's why we don't do it. You know, but
But it
you know,
just.
so it's going to be a little
I
bit
get that,
unrealistic.
but, okay, but I know, but it's like, but they don't have to be. I
Yeah.
understand not seeing Kiefer go to the bathroom. I
Right.
get that. I don't see where we can't have the guy still limping or
Yeah.
have a
Yeah,
knee problem.
and we were talking about that last week specifically because if you have a guy who's limping, he's already hobbled. What kind of threat is he to the group? So
Yeah.
then you have a
Well,
better
I mean,
argument.
he was limping, but
you
we
have a
showed
better.
it before.
Well, that
That's
makes it
fine.
the argument
even
is
harder.
well,
to,
now we don't have to kill him. He's not a threat to us. No, we have to kill him. Then you
Yeah.
have a better argument. Use it for a
Yeah.
story.
Well,
And they just don't. They don't do things like
was
that.
he a threat, by the way? Would you guys have
That's
killed
what
him or
there
not?
was a. No, I don't think he was a threat. I
No?
think no.
Oh,
no,
really? I think he was 100% a threat.
Yeah,
as
I
soon
think-
as he
I think it
admitted,
was Two-Face.
as soon as
Yeah, I
he
think
flip flopped and said, we got a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
Well,
it's gonna
yeah,
be
he's gonna
great."
say yeah, but he's been saying anything any way he has to survive. So
Yeah.
I don't know. First of all, the idea that they could find this group, that he's gonna just happen upon his group, and then he's gonna convince them to go, hey, there's this farm somewhere around that might have food, we might have shelter. I didn't buy that argument at
And
all.
I would have killed him.
Like, okay, you would have.
I think that I think the way the original bikers were like, wait, you got a
Right.
farm? So because we don't know,
Yeah.
because in this universe, maybe the food is, all the Twinkies are gone,
Right.
And like maybe there's nothing to live off, and maybe these guys, it's partly survival. But I was thinking in my brain there, like it seems to me like they're almost like Hell's Angels,
Right.
where they're part of it's survival, and part of it's just a bunch of scumbags who are just
Doing
having fun,
whatever.
raping and
Yeah.
pillaging. They're like pirates, and so it's like, well, there's women, there's food, because we don't know what's out in that rest of the world. So maybe
Right.
it is so empty that this would be attractive to them. And I feel as though the way he got so excited when they were doing the killings before, and he's flip flopping to stay alive,
Yeah.
but it seemed like he was all too quick to say, oh yeah, you're gonna
You're gonna
love
fit
my
right in,
guys.
yeah.
And it was so I thought in that moment, like, geez, you have to kill him for the sake of survival. And so initially I'm saying to myself, geez, maybe Shane is like saying, I got to do what's best for group,
Right.
but I'll make it look like, and then only to
Then he
find
went
out
nuts.
that is his.
No, okay, but let.
I don't want to get ahead, but anyway,
right.
so
Because
because I know
wanted
the
to
big
jump
thing
right
is
in.
right is
I just wanted to jump right
Should
in.
we
Screw
talk
it.
about a little
no,
bit
screw
about-
it. Let's jump right in.
Really?
Because, yes, because here's I'm going. What? Why is he's hit himself in the head before he?
Yeah.
You know what? It's
So that
like
was my thing, is when he shot
he
that
going
other
crazy?
guy-
Yeah.
when he shot the other guy earlier, I forgot the character's name. Pruitt Taylor Vance's character that he shot. The,
Which-
the chubby guy that he shot.
Oh, yeah,
and he-
oh.
or basically just left him there.
Otis.
Otis.
right?
Otis. Thank you.
We saw that weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that was to say maybe Shane's a little bit nuts. And then he started to become a little more likable, and
Right.
you know, and they're like, well, maybe he's going to be a play ball with the rest of
Right.
the guys. And then it's like, well, didn't we figure out that he was kind of nuts a few weeks ago? And it seemed like at the beginning of this episode, he's sitting there, he's smacking himself in the
Yeah.
head. And it's like, well, maybe he really is nuts.
well, the fact that he drew a bead on Rick many weeks ago
Yeah.
should be an indication to us there's something wrong.
Yeah, well, that
This-
was just because he wanted to get in the wife's pants and.
But
you know.
so you kill somebody?
Well,
you kill
girls
your
make you
best
do weird
friend?
things. I've killed 3 or 4 of my friends.
There you go. Okay.
Depends on the wife, I guess.
So
I'm not exactly-
because it was I was entertained by it all. I'm disappointed because I liked the character. I
Yeah.
liked how there was one guy that was less human. That was like, listen, because if you're gonna
Yeah.
follow the
Right.
rules of war, John,
Right, yeah.
you gotta kill that guy. And if you're gonna follow those rules, it's just like, no, kill or be killed. Like, listen to
Yeah.
you know. So you need to have someone like that. I feel like to balance off a Rick who's taking the high road.
Well, I'm thinking that they were bouncing off Dale.
Off Dale, they were, but
because
now
they
Dale's
killed
gone.
off Dale. Now they
Now
killed
Dale
off
was
Shane.
gone.
Now it's like there's
Yeah.
still, those things.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah,
so,
well, in this duality.
Although-
But
who knows
but
what
Rick's
happened next?
becoming that in many ways.
well, yeah, he's gonna
because he
yeah.
has to.
Right.
That, and
But that's
I'm
the
gonna-
whole.
but I'm
That's the
gonna
whole
miss-
thing
I'm
of
gonna
the.
miss having that kind of kind
kinda-
of character.
right.
But I mean, to back up just a little bit, as soon as Lady Macbeth, Laurie, weeks ago
Yeah.
is like, you need to kill
Yeah,
Shane.
oh,
He
yeah,
must
clearly,
die.
yeah,
And,
in his
okay,
ear.
okay, great. And then all of a sudden, and I said to Phil, I go, typical broad.
Yeah.
Now she's flip flopping and going out to the water tower
Uh-huh.
and being like, this guy's not so bad. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I buy that because of maybe the death of Dale's gotten
Yeah.
everyone to be soft. Is that
Well,
why?
no, the way I took it is that she's realizing that she finally is coming to terms with the fact that she was apologizing. She screwed this up. She
I don't
screwed
know
it
if
up
I
big
agree.
time.
I think it was on purpose.
You think she was on purpose?
I think she was. she was trying to get confrontation because before
with Shane.
with Shane because
Oh, I didn't see that at all.
Jaws
she-
open because
no,
I'm
for-
like, if that's the case,
for
then
Shane to pick a fight with Rick and solve that
She's
issue.
the-
Because before she said, no matter what, this is not your kid.
So,
no matter
wait a
what,
minute.
this
So
is not
that's
your kid.
the-
Now she's
so
like,
that's
hey,
the-
maybe this is your kid. Maybe
But
you
then,
should go work
then
it out.
she's got to know. She's got to
Yeah.
trust that I know my husband's gonna have the
Can
drop on this
defend
guy.
himself, yeah.
Exactly. But here's the thing: she knows Shane. She knows Shane isn't gonna make it a fair fight. So she's putting her husband
maybe
in
she-
jeopardy.
but it's-
maybe
I
she
didn't-
thought
I
don't
that
know
Rick
for
could
a
take the upper
second.
hand.
Listen, I don't know. By the way, I don't know who to believe. I mean, whose side to take with this? Matt's or John's? I don't know. It's very compelling arguments on both sides because she was so Lady Macbeth.
Yeah.
That we, so and I was watching with Maria, and that's
Yeah.
what, they lost Maria there.
Yeah.
Just oh my God, so
Yeah.
cheesy, so melodramatic. Stop. But the fact that she was, you have to kill him.
Yeah.
As Lady Macbeth, and then Lady Macbeth saying, "Okay, Macbeth's too weak to do the job." So I don't know. Maybe,
Look,
maybe.
She obviously
But that's-
knows Rick, right? They've
Right.
been together. They've had the other kid. They've been together. She knows that he just needs to be pushed hard enough. And
But she's out there pushing Shane.
And this,
But she,
Yeah,
this
right, and
seemed
the
like
minute
this is
she's,
the
because
way.
I said to Phil, the minute she signed Rick's death sentence, the minute
Right.
she says this to him,
Yeah.
I'm like, are you crazy?
I don't
The
think
minute
Yeah.
you tell this
I don't
guy,
think she's that crazy. I don't
it's-
think she's that
and
Machiavellian.
get him back
I
on
thought
the
she
hook.
was. I thought she was legitimately saying, "Look, I screwed the pooch on this, and I'm sorry I put you." I thought she was.
But for her,
seriously.
here's what's interesting, John. But for her to know a few weeks ago to say, and she was right to say it, you got to kill this guy. He thinks the baby's his. He thinks Carl's his.
Right.
You have to kill
I
him.
think this is
and for
on
her to
purpose.
know that, that's what I'm saying. Okay, did she flip? Did she get soft over Dale's death? I guess I'd buy that if that's the case. But it's interesting because the fact that she was so much the chess player, where
Yeah.
Rick was more emotional to say, "Got to kill him," and she was right. The guy had to die. He was great. I mean,
Yeah,
Shane was
that
crazy.
scene that they had in the tent, basically, where they said, she said, well, he was in love with me and whatever, and he's got to go.
Right.
And Rick said, he manned up. He's like, nothing will break up this family. Nothing will break up this family. I will do anything. And I think her little conversation with Shane at the tower there.
to accelerate
was-
everything.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure
I
we'll,
don't, I
I'm
don't,
sure we'll
I don't
find
think for a
out.
second that
No?
she's that smart
Yeah.
or that she can play that
But
far
she was
ahead.
smart enough to say, John, you got to kill him.
Well, yeah, but
Okay.
I don't think that doesn't take a hell of a lot of brains to say that. Okay, if I go to Shane, I put this in his brain, he at some point is going to confront my husband, and my husband will take him out. I don't see her making.
I mean,
that because
ironically-
there's too many variables there.
I know, but the
ironically, I
whole
think-
show is just psychology. The zombies don't really matter much. Although they're the
You know
cool
what? You know
part.
what? Also, I think it's. You're right, John. She as a character may not be smart enough, but it feels very AMC.
Yeah.
Where they have a
True.
lot of like psychology, politics. They have a lot of these things going on in their shows.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it probably will be revealed to us, don't you think?
It has
Either
to
way.
be. I mean, yeah, and they're just gonna have to bring in.
No, I think it's
Something
one of
new,
those things
right?
that they'll just let go. I do.
No,
I
no,
don't
it's
think
okay.
they'll, I
That's
don't think
legit.
they'll really take time with it.
I think the problem is this, before she made a decision, it could have been Shane's, and then she
Right.
made a decision that the child was Rick's, and then now she's at the point she doesn't know, and it's kind of like the Schrodinger's cat scenario. When you don't know,
Right.
it's you won't know until it happens, and so
Yeah.
I
If the
think it's
baby
just
has
the
those
confusion
ears,
of
then
that.
we know it's Shane's, right?
Exactly,
He has this
exactly.
Right.
And so-
giant Dumbo ears.
so-
yeah.
And so
It started hitting itself in the head. We know it's.
Yeah, oh, it's Shane's.
It's
Yeah,
exactly-
Shane's. My bad.
Exactly. So I think it was just more of her coming to this part of it, and she's just in the story sense just the catalyst for all of this. I don't think she
Yeah.
had a greater plan, I think she did when she told Rick
Yeah.
that you got to kill him, but she didn't.
Rather
She was
than
over
her
her head.
being Machiavellian about how she was going to do it, I think she was just stupid in saying something to Shane at all.
And the
I don't
stupidity
think
came from the death of.
Exactly. When she realized, Jesus, now Dale's dead, and I'm party of all this, and I'm screwing up all over the place, and look what's happening.
That sounds right. And you know what would be interesting, John, though? Now where they have a whole season,
Yeah.
don't be surprised if they don't manufacture.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Laura's
our
going to turn
theory-
out to be this evil
You know what I
bitch.
mean? Like,
Because we
just-
think
just like
Andrea is,
they
and
may
she's
say,
not.
well,
Yeah. You
know,
think
yeah.
Andrea's what?
I think Andrea's sort of made out to be sort of
The
the tough,
bad
bitchy,
guy, right.
whatever.
Right.
It's going to be it's gonna be Lori. He's gonna
Well,
grow
especially
into-
because you
to
got
the-
involved.
to the evil bitch.
Not only that, but you got now she has another child coming
Yeah.
into this. She's gonna be the angry,
Yeah.
pregnant. I'm bringing a child into this. Yeah, she's gonna go nuts.
And I'm wondering how they're gonna introduce that. You think the next season's gonna start and there's just gonna be like a baby running around?
yeah, I don't know. That's
You
gonna
know,
be
that
interesting.
seems like the trend
Yeah.
where they
You know,
may start out like, a
do
little
they try to do
sooner.
a season with her pregnant and now it's
Yeah.
like how do we issue, or is it just like a baby's running around? And,
Yeah, a year later or whatever.
You know.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have talked about it, but the more I'm watching the show and the more I'm seeing the hopelessness,
Yeah.
I'm really not big on bringing a kid into this world.
yeah, I know.
Well,
You know?
yeah. And the one
Yeah.
episode where it's like, well, we could be civilized, and they're telling
Yeah.
the kid Carl,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, well, listen, you need to be a kid, but you know,
yeah.
it's a little different situation. And then now they're saying you're not a kid anymore.
Exactly.
You know,
I wish you
you're
could have my
not
childhood,
a
but you
kid
can't.
anymore.
Here, take the
And,
gun.
you know, and that
Which
we,
is
we
also
all,
the opposite of Dale's way.
Yeah, that's right.
right. So we hear about Dale's way, and by the end, as we were discussing,
Yeah.
Completely not Dale's
totally
way.
Everything's
opposite.
messed up.
Yeah.
Everything, you know, and
Yeah.
In one day.
in one day,
Yeah.
and his conversation with his son, you know, and then what?
Good intentions.
Yep. And
Yeah.
You know, but in watching the show, of all the shows that I watch, and I do watch a lot, I want to be a zombie, man. I just like. Have you guys talked about zombie school?
What? No. What do you want? Why do you want to be a zombie?
Because that looks like an awesome role. Like, you know,
Okay.
They
like,
all have
I'm not an
so
actor or
much
anything,
fun.
right? So yeah,
I mean,
What-
as,
what
as
did
an
you say?
actor, you mean, right?
yeah, just like
no,
to
fine.
have a cameo on the zombie to be a zombie. Have you talked about zombie school?
Oh
No.
yeah. We
Yeah.
actually have a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, is
yeah,
that
Ben's talked
awesome?
about
Like
it a lot.
you have
yeah.
to go to zombie school to be
Yeah.
a zombie. That's
And they
sweet.
have
I wanna go
different
to
levels
zombie
of
school.
zombie.
Yeah.
They have different levels of zombies.
Is
that
there-
A
are-
level, the B,
B
level, and the C
level.
Do you
yeah,
think there's
exactly.
scholarships?
Wait, what's A, B, and C? And I hope if we're going back over old territory, then
Well, okay. Well, an A level is somebody who's actually gonna get killed, or
They're like
okay.
They're in the front row. Go
they're in
ahead,
the
Ben.
front
Ben
row.
can
Ben
explain
knows
this.
it best because
they're all A is like really up.
Speak in your
close.
mic.
A is A is really up close. They are like if they're going to be killed on
close-ups.
screen.
Things
or
they're
if
fully made
Like
up.
the one
they-
with no
yeah,
lips.
yeah,
It's just all
exactly.
teeth. Yeah, that's a good
They'll
one.
have the
they've got a
prosthetics. They'll
lot
have all the kind of
prosthetics
stuff.
on. B is just like kind of light makeup.
Background.
They're more in the back, and C they just pretty much put a mask on them.
Yeah. so-
Those are the guys
but-
like
but
just
so-
walking around in the woods.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I want to get full on.
Yeah,
killed.
you want
like,
that.
I want
You
to.
I want
yeah,
no. I'm
you have
lazy.
to know.
I want B
Yeah,
or C.
I want my head.
No, lazy. I want to get my.
exploded,
You know how much money they get? It's amazing. I did
Yeah,
background
exactly.
work in soap operas.
I want-
Yeah.
Made a fortune for
Yeah.
doing nothing.
I want to do like I want to do
Amazing.
like I want to do like 6 weeks of zombie school for 8.5 seconds of screen
Yeah.
time. But I want my head to just
You want to get the
completely
head
come off.
smashed? Yeah.
But I want shit
It's
to come out of my
messy.
mouth
It's
and-
sticky.
Yeah.
Listen, everyone else, take B and C. Easy money, great food, and if you're good, you hit on the extras.
Yeah.
You make
That's
fake
right.
friends. It's amazing. No,
That's
you
it,
want to go.
yeah.
I'm B or C.
Yeah, and you can go to the autograph. You know, you do
Oh,
those
oh,
conventions
yeah,
and sign
the
the autographs. Yeah, I was
conventions.
on Walking Dead. There I am. Look, episode 7.
Hell yeah!
I knew a
put that
guy.
Picture on my
By the
driver's
way,
license,
I knew
zombie me.
one time a guy picked us up at the airport with a big giant handlebar mustache.
Yeah.
And he was a big Maria Menounos fan. Well, come to find out, he really wasn't. What it was is that he was an extra on the show Deadwood,
Okay.
and he sucked up to the EP of the show,
Sure.
and he kind of created in his brain that he was the proprietor of the gun shop. Like he had never had any lines or whatever, but
Yeah.
like the couple of episodes he did, he was in the gun shop.
So
And
that he made this
Oh,
up.
so he grew out the handlebar mustache, and he
Yeah.
always wore the outfit. And so when he picked it, I think he thought like Maria was going to do a story on him.
Uh-huh.
She's like, yeah, I specifically requested you and stuff, and I ended up having him drop us off a block away from our house.
Of course, yeah. That's a good call.
Yeah,
But
you know what?
anyway.
I live at 7-Eleven. Take me there.
But he had embraced the life of the extra. So yeah, so
Yeah.
what you're saying is that there'll be
Yeah.
zombies at conventions for
yeah,
years to come.
absolutely. They'll sign just like they do now at Star Trek conventions. I was
Yeah.
Engineer 1.
I just think it'd be cool to be dressed up like that and get shot.
Yeah, well,
and
yeah, it
just
would be
like-
fun.
Oh, get a machete in the
Yeah, just
head, a pitchfork.
yeah.
This week we had,
Yeah.
pitchfork through the throat, up
That,
through the
and
head.
that,
Nice.
and then the sound effects, man.
Yeah.
When they,
Yeah.
when they pull that
Whoever's doing the
knife out of
Foley
his
on
head,
this
it's
is
this
really
weird
earning their
jelly,
keep, yeah.
slothy kind
Yeah.
of gooey. It's fun. Anyway.
Guys, I'm bummed to miss Shane, and
Yeah.
I feel I always also working
Yeah.
in this industry. I also feel bad for the actor, and like I've
Yeah.
heard him interviewed. He's great, wasn't he on Adam Carolla's show?
I don't know. I'm not there for Adam Carolla show all the time.
I think
if he
he
has a cool
was.
car, then we'll
Yeah.
get him in. But that's all I can tell you.
Okay,
He
no,
probably does now.
He does.
He does
no,
now.
because he's a boxer and he's
Yeah.
been on Adam's show, and I really like him. He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is a great gig.
Yeah, and here's
this
the thing.
really
He-
sucks you guys when you're,
Yeah.
you
'Cause
guys
he
know
really
this.
served the story.
and he's a great actor. And when you
Yeah.
like, this is a great gig.
But
here's the
you-
thing.
you're doing like 3 months work
Yeah.
on these shows, and you're free to do your movies and
Yeah, and
and
whatever
so
else.
I mean, granted, he's gonna be famous now forever, but
Well-
it stinks if this goes another 7 or 8 seasons. You're not
Yeah,
gonna remember
he's not
him.
gonna come back.
He this might be a little more news and gossip, but Frank Darabont is doing a show for TNT called LA Noire,
Yeah.
and he landed a role on that.
All right. Well,
Wait, I'm
there
sure
you
he's going to be great, but I wanted him on the show right when he
By
got
the way,
shot.
that might have answered why
yeah.
right.
why he got.
But also, you know, I mean,
go. Why
I think
they picked it because they knew they were gonna kill
well,
somebody.
we know from
Right.
the comic books he
He's
in the show
wasted.
he stayed alive a lot longer than he did in the comic books. And so
Right.
if you're if you're Shane's character, John, is his real name, you know, you must be like, okay, how long am I going to stay alive? And so if you're looking at it like, oh, I'm glad I stayed alive for pretty much the end of season 2.
Right.
You read the comic books?
Ben does.
Yeah,
Such a nerd.
Yeah, such
Yeah,
a
we-
nerd.
oh,
Let's
yeah, no,
get the.
yeah.
Where's my
We did
nerd
it for
drop?
homework.
Yeah, watching
You're
TV
welcome.
isn't nerdy. Comic books are nerdy.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at it from the business angle, Phil,
I
of
know, I was
being a
thinking-
working actor. But you know what? The LA Noire thing, he did mention on Adam's show, and I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't make it easy for them to do it, or if it was something contractual or whatnot.
But wouldn't it have been more fun if they kill him, he turned into a zombie, and then they put him in the barn and they trained him to be a good zombie, and he was like their killer, and he just whatever became like their muscle guy. Something.
I
fun
was
like that.
asking I was asking Phil that today. I
Yeah.
wonder if these zombies are going to evolve,
I don't
or
know.
if there'll be
Well,
different versions.
Okay, before we get into that, let me
Sorry.
just talk
Can they
just one
read?
more a little bit, Shane, because here's the thing. He had to. There's nothing else you could do with this character because you knew that he and Rick were going to come to a head. It had to happen, right? Because that's where we're going the whole time. What were you going to do with Shane if he doesn't win the fight?
I thought he was going to be slightly reformed.
And then
After
what?
the
And
ass
then
beating
have his
he took.
balls
No,
chopped
no,
off?
and then
Yeah.
the motorcycle gang's coming, and they basically like any dysfunctional family, they got to
Right.
rally
Right.
together for outside forces.
Well, that's true.
And-
he
and
wouldn't be able to stay.
constantly have
He
that
couldn't
tension,
stay.
John.
But he couldn't stay because
Yeah, he
then
had
it's the same thing. It's the same story. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
it
But
was
if you bring in,
already
but if
getting
you bring in
tough.
external, because there's no external forces.
That's true.
I thought the motorcycle gang
right.
was coming.
Then
this
you could see
episode.
something different.
Right. So do you?
Or
I
a
mean,
gang
do you
of-
kill him in the way that he was killed, or do you kill him off as a hero
no,
of some sort?
and by the way, just as a fan, I enjoy him as an actor. I
Yeah,
liked
he's
him on the
terrific.
show. I'm not saying it's bad writing killing him. I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's just me as a fan, as a civilian.
But
I'm
Yeah.
like,
he's
I liked
he's
watching.
the guy
it.
you kind of want to not like, but you need around.
You need him.
So
Yeah.
now they need
So-
somebody else, and,
and-
it's going to
and-
be Lori. She's
It's
going to
gonna
be
be-
yes.
so-
She's going to turn into this evil
Into
bitch.
this evil one.
Yes.
So Rick's his counterpoint is going to be Lori. So
Yes.
it's going to be okay. Yeah.
And they're going to fight over the kid with the baby with the big ears.
Exactly. This is a war of the roses.
Yes. Don't be such a bitch. Your kid can hear you from 4 miles away. He's got Shane's ears.
It's like sonar disc or something. I know what that is. All right. So what you were just talking?
Well,
before we go into the zombie thing. Okay.
Well, I was go ahead.
No. Kev started.
Well, we were
the
just wondering.
discussion
I'm
about-
wondering if they'll evolve.
Evolve.
Well,
And
do you
we-
want to save that after we kind of discuss the episode, or you?
Yeah,
Are you-
I guess we can talk about it after the commercial.
Well, my thing was, when Daryl was starting to pick up the pieces and figuring out stuff,
Yeah, that he knew
that
something
he,
was up.
that he would somehow be involved with what
The
went on.
showdown?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought for sure that it looked like that Shane was gonna have the gun on him, and just before he shot, he was gonna have an arrow through his heart.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
I thought that's what they were gonna
Yeah.
do.
By the way, his tracking ability is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Who, Daryl's?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Daryl's
incredible,
really
isn't it?
good to have around.
Yeah.
And by the way, I
Unrealistic, but
I'm-
phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm wondering when Daryl's brother
Been a scuffle
is
here.
gonna come back.
I think it's going to be season 3.
Well, we
And I
hope
think
so.
he's with
When can
that,
they-
and I
yeah.
think he's with that gang. I mean, that I'm guessing it seems like it would make sense, but just the fact that that's a really famous actor,
Yeah,
John
Booker.
that
Rooker,
played
excuse me.
that played him, and the fact that he went out in such a dramatic way.
Yeah.
and it's gonna be interesting because Daryl's gonna have a test.
Yeah,
on his
and
hands.
They got to.
Yeah.
On his hands.
His
Nice. Nice. See how he did that?
I think he's going to be the leader of said group.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be terrific.
Which, by the way, they might have played a homage. I don't know if they did or did not consciously, but when they had their prisoner, he was
he couldn't get out of the cuffs
The-
where Daryl's brother.
Merle.
Yeah,
Merle did.
he did.
And by the way, what a great scene with the two guys standing there with the moon and the
Oh, yeah,
Oh
it
my
was a
God,
great
great
shot.
shot! A
Wonderful
lot of
shot.
great shots.
That's
in
a
this.
great poster right there.
Yeah, there was 2 different shots with
Yeah.
the showdown in the moonlight. Also, the one with the sun, with Carl and Dad in the barn, the reverse shot of
Yeah.
them sitting down,
Yeah.
you
The
know,
silhouette.
together, just in silhouette.
Yeah, that was terrific.
Really great
The other
work.
shot was terrific. Is the last reveal of the walkers heading their way.
And so,
Oh,
do we
yeah.
assume that the walkers that are walking up, the kid that was in the barn, I forgot the kid.
Carl.
Randall.
Oh, no,
Randall.
Randall.
Randy.
yeah.
Is that his group that he said was about 5 miles away off the freeway? Is that all of
don't-
them turned into walkers
That-
showing
I
up?
think
or-
that is. Well, because
Wow.
here's what I really
Interesting.
like, you know, because we always tease like how to get them off the farm. It's
Right.
okay, you have
Yeah.
to have you can
An
have
outside-
zombies coming
right.
at them, and then it was like okay, you're gonna have the humans come at them,
Yeah.
and now it's those humans who are now zombies. So I really like, you know, that we were both all right.
Right.
All-
Is it just zombies walking around, or is just the kid was saying, oh, we had a group of
Yeah,
30
could
something
be,
plus
could
people.
be.
They're about 5 miles away. We assume off
At
the
this
freeway,
point,
off the highway.
It really doesn't matter where
Well,
they came from.
well,
'cause
they
they're just
did look like
walkers.
zombies though. When you,
Oh no, they were definitely
yeah.
walkers.
it was-
Yeah,
they
they're
were
definitely
Well, because you had the
walkers,
the
yeah.
tree
Walkers,
shot
that's what you
before
call
that,
Yeah.
you know. So in the context
Yeah.
of everything, you know, there.
And I
Yeah.
saw a zombie school diploma on one of them.
Thank God you've got eyes
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
I'm
I saw
telling
that,
you.
yeah.
You could discern that in the
Yeah.
night.
Um,
So, well, let's talk a little bit more about that then, because will they evolve?
well,
Can they
we know
evolve
we have
in it?
swimmers, right?
We have swimmers.
We have
Remember in-
bobbers.
What were they called?
We called it a
Swimmers?
bobber.
Bobbers. Yeah, we called it.
well, we know they're
bobbers.
not good with mud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we saw how that one was a different kind of creature, the one
Yeah.
that was in the
Yeah,
well.
It was
Yeah.
all, it was
Yeah.
all slimy and it looked like it was growing gills or something.
Well,
Right.
yeah, 'cause-
so I'm wondering, we've no other zombie from the original Dawn of the Dead
Yeah.
to Night of the Living Dead.
They never seem to
We've
evolve.
never seen them evolve. So it'll be
Right.
interesting to see if
although
one
in
does-
27 days, was it 27 days later? or
28
what?
days
28
28
days
days,
later.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
'Cause they were not the walking zombie. They were because they were nut zombies and
They
stuff.
were-
so
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
they
here's
were
the tough
crazy
part.
frenetic.
I mean, evolution by definition, it takes a period of time,
That's
and
true.
so especially you're talking days/hours or
Right.
whatever. You're not going to go from an evolution of like it can barely walk to all of a sudden running.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's the problem with the zombie
And
evolution.
these are traditional
Or-
zombies, right?
or-
They're
unless
stupid and they're
it's
weak.
unless it's done genetically, because I mean we don't know where this thing happened.
Right.
The CDC, we don't know the whole.
so we
thing
don't know.
behind
Could
it.
not be
Right.
right. Or
There might be a next generation of zombie
But
already
then they're like
happening.
Resident Evil
or a
zombies,
different
you know?
Exactly.
or a
Yeah.
different kind of zombie.
Right.
You know that we don't, like I said, we saw the swimmer, so it's like
Maybe there's a different breed out there.
that we don't know. It'd be I don't know.
right.
I mean I kind of hope they don't go there. I
Right.
like them staying with the laws of zombie
Of
world.
some weird, yeah,
But
and it doesn't seem to affect. I mean, we don't see any zombie cows, even though they eat cows. So it doesn't
Right.
migrate into a different species.
That's how they got to be zombies. I'm telling you, it's mad cow.
Mad cow?
disease.
Mad cow.
All right,
Yeah.
Haven't you seen
I assume-
Zombieland?
that's true. I have. That's right.
And the question about you were saying, you want them off the farm, or do we want them on the farm?
Yeah.
It's just, and they go into town and they get what they need when
Yeah.
they need it. We do that here, but they stack. They stock up Vons and Ralphs like every
Yeah.
Tuesday. I mean, how long have they been on the farm? And eventually
Yeah.
they're gonna run out of food that's good, right? So the whole point of like every zombie movie or whatever,
Yeah.
they travel from place to place. Isn't that just to get more?
Yeah, but if you're
food?
on a
They're not-
farm,
yeah.
if you're on
They're
a
not just
farm,
looking
you
for
know what I
the
mean.
light
You
one
can
day,
start.
you know?
You can sustain yourself on a farm. You have
Don't get
vegetation.
Phil going on this sustainable farming.
that's
This is,
it.
he's got a background in this.
Stay on the farm, and you're saying don't stay on the farm.
No, but
I'm
no,
saying
no,
I
he
don't
doesn't-
want him to
he
stay on
doesn't
the
want
farm.
him
No,
on
he
the farm.
doesn't
Okay.
creatively,
Yeah.
but Phil can tell you why you can stay on the
Yeah,
farm and
I mean,
sustain
you could
yourself.
sustain yourself
he's
on
got
the
a
farm.
background in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He thinks what's Phil? Tell him you're the
Urban
future of the world.
sustainable, urban sustainable
sustainability.
living.
Yeah.
Is our future if we
That's
get
Which it also that segues nicely into Dale sort of sustains his living through Glenn, and
Yes,
Glenn, the
exactly.
passing of the RV.
There you go. The passing
Yeah.
of the RV. The keys get tossed to him. The little, so that's kind of a nice.
And you
little
thought it
moment
was
there.
going to be Andrea, but no, she doesn't know how to work
Yeah.
the RV.
Of course,
That's
not.
true. And Glenn, by
They don't
the
have
way,
the same sensibility.
when she says you can put your shit in my room, you put your shit in her
Yeah,
room.
when
Stop
Maggie-
messing
Maggie-
around.
yeah, Maggie said that,
Stop
yeah.
messing around. Come
Yeah.
on.
It's like, whoa.
The old man already said,
Ooh, yeah. So
"Do it."
he'd already given you the watch,
Yeah, you
man.
got the watch.
It's like, don't
Yeah.
spend
Do it.
time with my
Yeah.
daughter, and he says no.
Yeah.
It was like, what?
Weird.
What?
He's just a nice guy, I guess. I don't
yeah,
know.
but I mean,
I don't
he's
know.
been down this road a couple of times. It's
Yeah.
not like they hooked
But
up
that's
one
his
time.
character.
and-
He's the
Yeah.
nice masochist on this.
That's true.
Yeah.
The nice, but even nice masochists.
But he's getting groomed for to be a sadist.
You think, or
Slow-
is he
to be a
getting groomed to
sadist?
be
No,
the
not if
next
he's
Dell?
not if he's the Dale
Because he
row.
can fix him with a bagel. He's going to be the new mechanic kid.
He'll be the new Dale, and it looks
Well, he is the only one with that kind of conscience
yeah.
so far.
Well, but we don't know about T-Dog. What his
Well, that's true.
you know, like
Yeah,
he's still
no.
sort of the neutral guy. They can do
Yeah.
something with him. They have to. Now they're running out of people.
Exactly. Thank God. T-Dog's probably going,
Now-
yes!
Now, you know what you don't want though is if they, and I see writers do this sometimes, where they create some kind of things that don't seem realistic with
Yeah.
T-Dog now. All of a sudden,
Right.
you know
Yeah.
that he's
Well, it's interesting because they didn't even do anything. That's you said, is it lazy writing? I say that's the showrunner that just didn't utilize that character enough. Just didn't, for whatever reason. And I
Yeah.
thought that was, and so it just looked like, why do we even have this guy here?
But if they
Do
change
something
his
with
it. Be
character, if they
diverse.
change his character a bit, I don't want it to be just, like he just sort of rolls into it because he's getting mad what everybody's saying. He's already blown that off. These people have been arguing all season.
Yeah,
So something traumatic has to happen. Like
Right.
he needs to really kill somebody horrible that he knew, or he
Yeah.
needs to save somebody that it makes some
Yeah,
sort of man.
something.
Something needs to
Or
change.
because the nature of board is a vacuum, the vacuum of these people no longer being part of the group, he's going to have to step up and fulfill
Yeah.
some sort of role or whatever, and he can work his way into it or
Yeah.
work his way, whatever. That would be interesting because then you could see an evolution of the character.
Unless it's his kid that Laurie's having.
Yeah.
That'll
Which,
change it.
and we'll find that out too, I guess. He won't have the ears.
No.
But
well, just like the way Laurie went into that Lady Macbeth thing. It just seems so extreme and so out of
Yeah.
character. I hope they don't do that with him.
No.
So now, we've got this guy.
Please
we've
don't.
picked off so many people,
Yeah.
and now we do some kind of left turn with him.
Yeah.
And you're gonna make what? I just hope
Yeah.
they don't go there. I hope they
Yeah.
ease us
Yeah.
into
just
whatever
find an
it is.
organic way to do it so that we can
Right.
buy into
Right.
it. Which
But-
is,
and they're
speaking to
gonna
your
they're gonna
point.
bring in, they got to bring in more people, right? So do you think they bring in more people to kind of go against this new little smaller group, or are they going to bring in more people into
I
their
don't know that
group?
they need to bring in more
They don't
people
need-
because they
they're
already
gonna-
have T-Dog, which is basically bringing in a new person because he hasn't
have-
really been anything.
they have the
They got
doctor, his
Herschel's
daughter.
daughters. One
Yeah.
of them we barely know, and then the son. I don't know if he's the son or the boyfriend of the.
Yeah,
guy.
he's the
Who
son.
Yeah.
the hell is he? We barely know him.
I think wasn't he like hammering a piece of wood and that was it? Like that was just
Today,
Yeah,
no,
I
that
was
was
like,
Daryl
yeah,
hammering
yeah.
the thing.
No, I
Today
thought there
it
was
was
another
just
kid
mad.
there.
It did seem
But-
like another kid.
Yeah.
That's what I thought
But
too. I'm
you know
like,
what it is, because Herschel has like this whole group of people.
Yeah.
Somebody can show up and be like, "I'm Herschel's other son. He doesn't talk about. I'm I'm
true. I
his,
guess he
Right.
his
And,
nephew.
well,
I'm his
and when we
cousin."
learned that he was a
You know?
hardcore alcoholic, then
Yeah.
even more part.
Or like
Possible.
some other old guy shows up and he's like, "Oh, this is Herschel's brother that we don't like. That's why Herschel takes care of so many kids."
Well, they'll have to do something just to bring in new life and breed.
Yeah.
Different storylines. Because
Yeah.
being on the farm is tough enough. Because for us, it was like get off the friggin' farm so we can have some fun.
Well, you'll get your wish next week.
Yeah,
It looks
exactly.
like that's
Yeah,
that's
they
it
can-
for the farm.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Time to get to a mall.
load up that Hyundai.
That's right.
Yes.
You know.
We need a mall.
Yeah.
Right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
We're gonna
Or-
stay in a mall for one. That's nice.
I'd
We
live
can
in a
do that.
Costco.
Yeah.
Would you want
Costco would be fantastic.
Wouldn't it?
Walmart does
Like,
have a
yeah,
gun section.
I think I'd
so-
probably kill
Walmart.
everyone else.
Walmart's,
Walmart's
good,
got a
like
gun
Walmart
section.
superstore, like a Walmart superstore
Yeah.
that has food and weapons.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we need to cover?
I don't know. We should maybe go to commercial and
I think we
come back
should.
and talk about. We began this
Let's talk about the
discussion.
rules.
We
Yeah,
could certainly
how
But
do you-
just sort of
let's really get
speculate
into it when
on-
we come back from the break. So Ben, if you do us a favor, take us to break.
After Buzz TV. Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
All right. And we're back. Thank you, Sir Richard Wentworth, for that lovely break. Yeah. All right, so we were talking about zombies. How do they become zombies? We want to know this. We want to
Yeah.
know what happened today, especially in this episode. Randall, who gets his neck broken Shane, and then
Yeah.
the next time we see him,
He's a zombie.
He's a zombie
With
and
no
he
bites.
with no bite marks.
Right.
no bite marks that
No
we know
bites.
of.
And of course, Shane, he zombies out.
Yeah,
But-
and then
And it's
then-
how Shane's they
Yeah.
portrayed Shane's zombieing out
Yeah.
with these cutaways,
That's
almost
right.
like a demon of some kind
Right.
was coming into his body.
Exactly. So he gets stabbed. Now either he was bitten before or scratched or whatever that we
I
didn't
mean,
know
is that-
about.
Is
or
that the thing? Is it
I
just
have
what?
I have much to say about
Oh,
this.
really? Oh,
all
wow.
right.
From the
Speak up.
booth.
Bengineer.
Bengineer,
we're
let's-
just asking questions. We need answers.
Yes,
man.
please.
Come
We
on.
need answers. Well, okay. In the book,
Yeah.
Shane gets shot in the neck, and they later learn that people are just coming back when they die. They don't need to be bitten or scratched, but that will also turn them.
What? We're being shot in the neck?
No, being bitten or scratched.
Okay, so that turns
That
them.
will
Obviously, we
turn
know
them.
that part. But you're saying people come back and they're zombies for whatever reason?
Yeah.
So everyone's
They
a
get
zombie
killed
unless they get
from-
shot in the head.
If their brain is destroyed, they don't come back. But if they
Okay.
are killed in any
So we
other
don't
way,
know how it's communicable.
They think it's airborne in the books,
Ah.
and
Ah.
that everyone already is carrying the virus, but it
It
only
just-
acts when you're dead.
And that's why Dale they shot him in the
Dale
head.
didn't come back because they blew his brains out.
Right. Gotcha.
Huh.
And then
Interesting. So-
Shane was dead because of Rick.
Right.
stabbed in
And
the
then
head.
it started
Okay, so it's
to
good
once
to know.
once you
Yeah.
die, it basically kicks in.
Yeah. And
So-
rather quickly, I might say.
So don't kill
Yeah.
people.
And by the original Dawn of the Dead, that's how it was.
Yeah.
That's how they made it. So that
So they're gonna learn that it's not the biting and the scratching. Where we are already zombies, and when we
Yeah.
die, we will.
Which leads me to my question, if
Become
you guys
walkers.
don't mind, is the fact that again, if they sort of knew the zombie culture, like I really wish there was a zombie
Yeah.
movie where they already had a sense of that culture, where
Yeah.
they'd be like, wait, you know what, we can't kill people because this thing might be airborne, and if they die, then they'll just become zombies.
Well, you have to kill them and shoot them in the head.
Yeah.
all right, so then
yeah.
that fact, then they
I
would
assume
know
you can
that.
set them on fire, right? You said,
Yeah.
you said destruction of the brain. We can just set them all on fire and hopefully they all melt.
Yeah.
So Bengineer, the people that are in say coffins buried, are they zombies? But they're just sealed in coffins.
That's what was happening in the book. They bury Shane, and
Yeah.
then Rick discovers that people are coming back just after they die. So he goes back to Shane's burial site, digs
But-
him up, and he's alive.
But
Well,
Kevin's asking about
Oh, nice.
like bodies buried 10 years
Yes.
ago.
prior to
you know,
this thing
or,
breaking out.
Maybe not 10 years ago.
yeah,
There's
they
not
didn't-
much
Or whatever.
left, but
Yeah.
you know,
No,
something.
you kidding me with today? What they do to you today? My God, no! I know people have been dug up 40, 50 years later, and they look
Yeah.
like amazing.
Yeah. So how long?
It's like crazy. So
Yeah,
I-
how
You're
long- I
saying
mean,
it's airborne, but that also means it's probably in
Yeah,
the
it'd have to
soil
s-
in the trees or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. They didn't really go into.
I mean,
people
they'd
who
Maybe
be,
if you're
they'd be
dead-
sealed and buried.
My guess is if you're dead prior to this thing breaking out,
You're probably
not
not
coming
good.
back.
Well, you know,
You have
when
to be
you think of
exposed to it before you die.
we've seen the people who hung themselves and they just are up there growling and
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, whatever.
Right,
they
right,
do,
right.
Which is
you know.
hilarious.
Yeah.
that was kind of funny. Yeah.
This didn't work. Major fail.
Exactly.
Major
Yeah.
fail.
Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry. now I'm just a pinata.
By the way, Carl at the end there, pretty good shot.
yeah,
right? Like,
it was
it's
impressive.
dark.
And he didn't even take the pot shots at the
Yeah.
walker. So it's
a
like,
little bit of
whoa.
like dad moved to the left.
Yeah,
duck,
he didn't
any of
even
that.
bother to say
Yeah.
that.
Any of that. Just been like, okay. Yeah.
Rick didn't hear Shane coming up behind him. Like,
No.
That was
No.
a little weird.
I hate
or,
stuff like that.
or,
He's in
or-
shock. He just
or-
killed his buddy.
or
His kid's pointing a gun at him.
I was wondering if he heard, but he was so focused on, like he was like, "Son, put it down." Like he was trying
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
the son to put
Yeah.
it down first.
But
You know,
No, but if
another thing, like Carl was aiming at Shane. Not
Yeah,
at Rick.
he.
You
Well,
can
here's the.
tell
Well,
when
but
someone's
wait a minute.
pointing
He
it at
he
you.
aimed the gun before Shane got
before
up.
Shane got up. Yep.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh dang!
It's like, what the hell was that?
well, then
That
I guess
didn't
he
make
made a
any
choice
sense.
after.
Yeah.
In the words of T Dog. Oh hell no.
Well, here's. I mean, to answer Kevin's question, for me, it didn't matter. Like Rick, they had that awesome close up of Rick, and he was so I don't know the right word for it, but distraught or whatever. And then to see his son after this act,
Right.
Who, especially from Carl, knowing that Carl thinks of Shane basically as another dad, if not the dad.
Right.
Then that's devastating, and so all other senses fade.
Right.
And it's just the sight of his son.
Yeah,
and
I
all that
wasn't. I
thought.
wasn't really concerned that Rick didn't hear anything. The thing that just struck me as very strange is why is he aiming the gun at his dad?
Well,
and
I
then
mean,
Shane gets
it
out.
could be like a really big issue for the next season or whatever, or it could just be as he was zombieing out and we were seeing those weird images of the monsters. They keep going back to Shane, and Shane's moving around a little bit and twitching a little bit. And maybe the kid's supposed to be seeing that.
He knew.
Yeah,
And the dad's looking over and the kid sees that. I don't know, but like a foot move or whatever.
And
But
he
it
didn't
did look
readjust,
like-
right?
yeah.
It's not
No.
like he went from.
I mean, my honest knee-jerk guess is that it was just for dramatic effect.
That's what I'm saying,
That's
and I
all.
thought
Yeah.
it was cheap.
cheap.
So
dramatic
you don't
effect.
need
Yeah.
that.
Well, because it does. It's cheap when it's not organic.
exactly, you don't need it.
Yeah.
I mean, what were the options? He could shoot his dad through the head, hit Shane, and everybody's out. We recast everything. Except for evil Lori.
Or,
I'm
okay.
convinced on that.
Here's one other option. He pulled it out to shoot the father,
Right.
because he loves
Shane.
Yeah.
And then when the Shane pops up as a zombie, it kicks in that this is
Yeah,
my
that was
dad.
my thought, but again,
I-
he didn't readjust.
He didn't readjust, and I would never buy that the kid liked Shane more than his dad, or was
Yeah.
willing to kill his dad because.
And here's why, though,
I
too.
just
Like
would never buy
symbolically, he had the hat on,
yeah,
and who gave him the gun? Rick did,
Right.
not Shane.
And-
Had
and Rick
Shane
also
given
gave
him
him
the
the
gun,
hat.
I would have been apt to believe it more in that moment.
Yeah. I knew Shane was bad news when he Britney Spears his head. When he shaved that thing at the beginning of the season,
Britney Spears
Yeah.
said.
then I knew it
Nice.
was just downhill from there.
That's
I
right.
like him better bald.
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
yeah.
He
Right.
looks better without the hair.
Thank you, Bengineer.
he
Ben
was.
has a nice head of hair, just like Shane used to have.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, see, yeah.
Ben, you're gonna go. We're gonna have to
All right, I'll shave my head.
shod you.
Shall
Should we,
do prediction?
we have to go to
We do.
predictions and
Let's
do
get on.
Yeah.
one more episode.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'm gonna say this:
All right.
it's gonna suck not having one of your best shooters in this
That's
fight.
true.
Yeah,
That's
although
right.
I
Carl's a
agree.
pretty good shot. We know that.
Yeah, he is now.
This is why I'm bummed. You lose
Yeah.
Shane. You just lost like
You lose
your
a lot
best
of- yeah.
You need
soldier.
a maniac on your side.
do.
Like every good war
That's
has
why
a
I-
maniac
yeah.
on your side.
And he's a warrior.
yeah.
Yeah.
And and again by the rules of war, had to kill Otis.
Yeah, you know we need.
Had to survive. And it's like who would be more valuable, Otis, who was collecting zombies and putting in the barn,
Yeah.
or Shane, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the time, who was kicking ass, and so
Taking
it's too
names.
bad we're not going to have it, and now we're not going to have him.
This
But
show-
we have Daryl. Daryl's pretty
Yeah,
good.
but this show
yeah,
needs
that's
Wesley
pretty good.
Snipes. Is he still in jail? Because this show needs Wesley
If he's
Snipes.
not, they want him in jail. So
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure.
Unfortunately,
I think he's still
though,
in jail.
they have T-Dog. You can only have one.
That's right.
That's right.
So,
Apparently.
yeah.
Yeah. So we saw some of the previews, right? So we know
Yes.
there's this.
The farm is just going to get
It's
overrun.
overrun.
And
And it feels to me like, okay, here's a question. Is this going to be like 10 minutes of the 1 hour show, or is the whole show going to be
I
them
don't know.
being
but-
overrun?
Well,
Seem
the way
pretty close.
their particular rhythm is that we do a lot of talking and setting up, and then the last 15
Yeah.
minutes, 10 minutes.
But the zombies
they
are
ended
so
this, like
close,
they ended
right?
it right there.
I know,
Yeah,
but
they
you know
ended
how
You-
stupid they are,
you're
how
right.
long they take.
Zombies
Oh,
aren't
there's a
very
fence in
fast.
front of us.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
so
what
there's
I'm
gonna
looking
be-
forward to. It looks like Daryl's gonna get on a motorcycle,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's gonna just
pick them
do
off.
that. Yeah,
And if
drive
you
around.
notice, that was in light hours, right? It was
Yeah.
daytime.
You're right.
So
That was-
they're gonna
that
have
was
the
all
whole
night.
night before they get to do all that stuff.
You're right.
it's gonna be a
Uh,
long day's journey into night.
Rick and
Yeah.
Carl
They
are going to
were-
get up. They're going to run to the house, and it's going to be like,
They're-
within the next 47 hours, those guys are going to break through that barbed wire fence.
Exactly. How are we ever gonna outrun them?
Yeah,
Those
it's like, so we
were-
better come up with something soon. Meanwhile, I would have been
What's
like
the
in
plan?
the Hyundai hauling ass, getting out of there.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
I'd be over
Matt,
at that
I want you to
Costco.
know that this kind of like sarcasm doesn't take place in the Breaking Bad after show.
No?
No, it's because it's a perfect show. Like,
Yeah,
no,
Yeah.
no,
that's true.
no,
Oh,
yeah,
Bryan Cranston's great.
yeah.
Those are the shows that I do over at Adam Carolla's show. When Brian's on, he's great.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's
We
great,
love
and
him.
he talks about everything on the show. He'll like
that's great.
he'll talk about how he did a scene 2 or 3 different ways just to get it right, and how the network would tell him no on something, and then he'd come back and do it right.
Yeah,
Hopefully
amazing.
nobody else is. I didn't get him in trouble for that.
Oh, well, we didn't hear anything about.
Back to The Walking Dead.
Yeah, as long as Bryan Cranston doesn't watch The Walking Dead.
Then we're good.
yeah.
But anyway,
I-
I'm looking forward to an action episode. I
Yeah.
hope it's not.
I think it's going to be because you said that looked like a daytime shot, and I was trying to say that I
didn't
from
say
what I
that.
saw-
No,
I
I
said
did.
that.
I did.
or one of
John,
us.
someone did.
I did.
It all looked like nighttime shots to me.
Oh,
it
really?
looked like the majority of the episode is taking place right where they picked off, or left off rather.
All right, maybe I was wrong. on
So
that.
so it'll be interesting. Is everyone going to come out alive?
Yeah,
we
I
get
think
more
so
depth?
because we've already had.
They can't afford to
Yeah.
kill more people at this point.
I think
I mean,
Andrew
if
is
anybody dies-
disposable.
So what's the
Was that-
cliffhanger?
wait,
I don't
wait,
think
wait.
Andrea is not that we've killed Dale and Shane. I don't
The
think
blonde?
So.
You don't
Yeah.
think she's
No,
disposable?
because
I don't
who's
think so.
going to go up against Lori?
Can I predict why she's not? That's one reason. But I feel like they've worked so hard
To make her.
to create her. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
they like her. They have a soft
Yeah.
spot for her.
Yeah.
I feel like they've tried too hard to the point they've annoyed me.
Is she going to try to take on this, excuse me, this tough guy role that Shane had?
Yeah, and that
'Cause
just
they were sort of
annoys
buddy
me.
buddy.
Yeah,
think so.
no, I think she's safe. I think her job's
Yeah.
safe.
I think if anybody's
think
not
T-
safe, it's some of Herschel's family's not safe.
they're not
Right.
safe. No.
So the cliffhanger is going to be they're going to fight off a bunch of zombies, and then we don't know if they actually get into the house until next season.
And
right?
how
That's-
long? And how long are we away from next season this time?
A year
A year.
till October.
Yeah, they usually start up around Halloween.
Yeah, it's around zombie movie
It's a
time.
long time.
Or zombie.
That's a
fun
long
time.
Yeah. It's a
right.
good episode though. I thought it was a good episode.
It was
It's
a
been
good-
Oh yeah,
That
no,
was
I
a good
enjoyed it.
episode.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it a lot.
it's been a good season.
I think so. Yeah, I love it. I love the show. But maybe I'm in the minority
No,
on
no.
this.
I mean, there's stuff that's always really good, and I just would like to see more of it. I'm just tired of being on
You're
the farm.
spoiled from Breaking Bad. I'm telling you.
I am spoiled. I'm ruined.
It's just-
Guys, this is fun though. Thanks for having me on.
Oh,
no,
it was great
so
having
no,
you. It's a
Matt, we
pleasure.
expect you now all the
Yeah,
time.
you're gonna have to come in.
No, you
if
have
not,
to.
you better call in.
Yeah, I live close.
No,
Great.
you'll be here.
Just
No,
drop
you
by.
gotta come by next week.
Yeah. You
And
gotta,
the-
come by for
it'll
the
be
finale.
fun.
You gotta come by.
Yeah, you have to do the
Yeah,
finale
at least the
first.
finale.
And by the way, Matt owns motorair.com. Real quick.
Yeah, tell them
Motor
much
Raider.
about
It's a
that.
big website for car guys. Anybody that's into modifying their cars and doing stuff like that or racing, check out motorraider.com.
And by the way,
Motorraider.com.
you gave us like some good insight on the fact that all we were seeing was old pickup trucks for the first
Right.
season
Yeah.
of this, and you're like, no, some car sponsor, Hyundai
yeah,
came
Hyundai
in.
came in.
It's
and
like,
yeah,
here's
use
some
one of
money.
our-
Those trucks suck. Here,
Yeah.
use ours.
Yeah, very
First
interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so
For
we
more
was-
insight, where can we find you on your podcast?
Go to acecarcast.com. That's the show I do with Adam, or just go to adamcarolla.com. You'll catch his show, the one I do with him, and all the other shows.
Yeah, no, it's
good.
a great show. I listen to all the time.
I imagine if you're a fan of Walking Dead, you're a car guy as well. So there's
Yeah.
there's a good crossover
you know,
there.
we have a lot of good celebrity guys that are car guys that are on there. We get to talk about what they do
Nice.
in the industry for their jobs as well. It's fun.
Great. All right, and where should they find you, gentlemen?
You can find us on the Jersey Shore.
Yes.
After show here at AfterBuzz TV.
The only after show here on. No, never mind.
Ben, where did they find you?
Nowhere.
Okay, that's
Thank
what
you.
I thought.
That's good.
Bengineer.
Take us out, Bengineer.
Get us out of here. Thanks
From
for listening, everybody.
Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.